Hello everyone, my name is José Tezanos and I will be talking about the main mistakes in BIM implementation projects. The main course is to provide practical tools and strategies to avoid these common mistakes, ensuring that BIM next projects are efficient and successful as possible. But first, let me introduce myself. I am Master in BIM Management, Architect and CEO of MDT Arquitectura, an architectural office in Montevideo, Uruguay, but we work worldwide to Europe and LATAM countries. Also, founder of e-learning platform BIM Online, and I also have my podcast, BIM Online. We have developed more than 400,000 square meters in projects, and this is how I worked before working with BIM. We worked with the traditional methodology, we worked with CAD, and we worked well, but when arriving to the execution, main mistakes came in. So working with BIM was like this, but not only working with a 3D model, but also working with information in the model. Not knowing what really BIM means is one of the main mistakes in BIM implementation. This chart shows how the main barriers for BIM implementation are lack of knowing what BIM really is in the industry, and cultural and technique main thinking about what it really is working with BIM, and also not knowing about standards. But for working with BIM, we need not only technology, but also processes. We need people prepared in technology, yes, but also in processes. In processes, working with technology to achieve these objectives, but also people prepared in technology, but also in processes. And this is the main difference what working with BIM means for us in MDT architecture. This is what we really mean and need to work efficiently with BIM. 3D model, yes, clash detection, also plans, budgets, but above all, we need protocols, guidelines, communication processes, collaboration, analysis, and processes. The lack of strategic plan is one of the other main mistakes when working with BIM. Implementing BIM without detailed strategies, planning can lead to project failure. The lack of a clear and well-defined plan from the outset result is significant for deviations and cost and quality in projects. So overcoming the lack of planning means work with an improvised implementation, not aligned objectives, lack of a clear roadmap, waste of resources, and missed deadlines. That's why with our clients we work with a roadmap, with a clear roadmap about what is the main steps that they will take on and how they will do it in a clear time. So another way of overcoming the lack of planning means create a BIM implementation plan involving stakeholders in the creation of a detailed plan covering all the phases in the project. Define clear objectives, establish specific and measurable goals to guideline implementations, allocate adequate resources, ensure that human and technological resources are aligned with the needs of the project, establish a timeline, create a realistic schedule with key milestones to monitor the progress, involve senior management, ensure management commitment to support implementation. Not defining roles and responsibilities is another of the main mistakes when BIM implementation. This is the information management flow. We have an owner that is the information manager. For the owner, it's also a firm, a commitment representing the owner. So there we have also designated parties in one of the phases of the project, in the construction stage, in the design stage, and in the asset stage. They are all designated parties in one of these phases for main teams working in one only project, in one only information management flow. That's why we really need to work in a structured way, with requirements, with information, but also with an ordered CDE according to the ISO standard. The ISO standard says that BIM is a reliable database for decision making. We have information requirements for the owner, but also we need to have the information deliverables in a clear way, both of them. So overcoming clear roles means that also it leads to unclear functions, confusion about responsibilities, lack of coordination and internal conflicts, lack of clarity, and lead to disagreements and tensions in the team, operational efficiency, duplicated or misassigned tasks result in a wasted resources way, loss of time, confusion over who is responsible for what, and what can delay to decision making and task execution. So I highly recommend this document that is available in the website, in the PDF, Building Smart, Roles in Organizations and Projects that Use BIM. When it's clear what is the roadmap for defining strategic roles in all the teams. And also we need a matrix of responsibility assignment. This is what the ISO standard says. Clear information in clear teams to know what they have to do and how to do it. And this is also needed in the BIM execution plan as an answer to the owner requirements in the BIM project. So lack of appropriate training is another of the main mistakes. Main barriers of working with BIM for the firms is the lack of training, lack of expertise, and lack of abilities when searching for professionals with needed abilities to work with BIM. Lack of adequate training leads to error in modeling, wasted time in solving problems, and low return on investment and BIM technology. So, ongoing training programs establish training programs that cover both technical aspects and BIM processes, ensuring that team members are up to date. Role-specific training tailoring to the different roles of the team so that each member receives training relevant to responsibilities. Post-training support to provide ongoing resources such as manuals, tutorials, and access to experts to resolve questions and support on-the-job learning, and competency assessment to conduct periodic assessment to ensure that the team is acquiring and applying to knowledge effectively. Data management understatement is one of the other main mistakes when implementing BIM. Underestimating data management in a BIM project can lead to loss of critical information, inconsistencies, and coordination problems, severely affecting the quality and success of the project. Poor data management can result in decision-based or incorrect information, duplication of effort, and coordination difficulties between teams. This chart shows that when increasing the project information over the time of the phases in the project, digital workflows works better with information than the traditional conventional workflows, where some points of information were executed and made, but there was an important information loss in the process. So digital workflows saves this problem and takes us to a secure, as the ISO standard says, database to take better decisions to our projects. So loss of information is critical. Data may be lost or inaccessible when it is needed the most. Model inconsistencies, lack of data standardization, and quality control can lead to errors and discrepancies in the BIM model. Collaboration difficulties also without proper management, sharing and accessing data that becomes problematic, slow workflow, and causing misunderstanding. So how can we overcome these problems with data standardization, implement clear standards and protocols for the creation, storage, use of data in BIM, ensuring that all the team's members follow the same guidelines. Also use a common data environment. Adopt a common data environment that centralizes and organizes all the project information, facilitating access to collaboration across the disciplines. Data quality control. Establish periodic and data review and validation processes to detect and correct inconsistencies in a timely manner. Data managing training also, as we said, ensuring that the team is trained to handle data efficiency and the understanding of importance of good information management. Also, not considering interdisciplinary collaboration is another of the main mistakes when implementing BIM. When we talk about better collaboration, we talk about creating reliable databases and take better decisions for our projects, not only using BIM tools, where all the stakeholders find the information in the BIM model, and also they can extract the information they need for the project about other disciplines. So share information, project analysis, cross-border collaboration, and showcase success projects are really important. Use BIM models as central source of information to ensure that everyone is involved and can access up to the most information date to date. Evaluate how BIM approach made an impact on projects, quality, time, and costs. Collaborate with other professionals and improve processes. And demonstrate that BIM is possible and the results you can achieve to show others that BIM is really possible. So better collaboration is leaving the traditional flow to work with this new flow, working with one only databases, and this means not only better collaboration but also better communication. So strategic actions that can be driven in BIM. This chart shows how constructing alliances with organizations, with relevant organizations, developing a roadmap is also clear for better BIM implementation. So here in LATAM, we have several organizations that work among showing their experiences, sharing their experiences, and knowing that BIM is possible, making also a databases about the achievements and the experience working with BIM. So overcoming interdisciplinary collaboration means to promote open communication, establish clear and effective communication channels between all disciplines involved in the project. Regular coordination meetings, organization of regular coordination meetings to ensure that all disciplines are aligned to objectives and progress. Use collaboration tools, implement BIM platforms and tools to facilitate real-time collaboration and model integration between disciplines. Federated model that combines models from all the disciplines in a single environment, allowing for early detection and resolution of conflicts. Define collaboration protocols, establish clear procedures for information exchange and model integration, ensure that all participants follow the same rules. Not knowing regulation and standards is one of the other main mistakes. When we talk about standards, we are talking about standards in the model elements, but also standards in guidelines, manuals, and also, above all, the ISO standard that talks about processes, clear processes in BIM implementation. And we talk about information management, we are talking about structured and non-structured information, tables, material quantities, geometric model, database, but also picture documents, data sheets, and meet notes shared in the project. So how to overcome regulation and standards, lack of regulation and standards? Well, Continuous research and update is really important to keep informed of the latest regulations and standards applicable to the project both locally and internationally. Implementation and recognize BIM standards. Adopt and apply BIM standards such as ISO to ensure that the project complies with best practices. Regular reviews and audits to conduct period audits to verify that the project continues to comply with established regulation and standards. Regular standards training to ensure that BIM teams members are trained on applicable regulation and standards so they can implement them correctly. Not performing regular reviews and audits in the project is one of the other main mistakes when BIM implementation. So missing regular reviews and audits on a BIM project can lead to an accumulation of errors and problems that affect quality and integrity of the project over the time. Cumulative errors, small problems that are not addressed, can turn into significant and costly errors. Coordination difficulties, lack of reviews that can lead to coordination problems between disciplines that are only discovered in advanced stages. Delays and overcost runs. Correcting problems discovered late in the project is often most costly than delays that are scheduled. So overcoming reviews and audits to solve these problems are establish review plans to create schedule of periodic reviews and audits throughout the project life cycle to ensure continuous quality control. Key stage reviews to conduct audits and critical times in the project, such as after completion to each major phase. Involve the independent experts to consider including external reviews and independent experts to obtain objective view of the project. Document and manage findings, recording all issues identified during reviews and establish action to plainly affect and resolve them. To implement BIM without mistakes and deviations is the only way to do it, but also the only way to do it is to do it guided. Thank you very much. We also give you guided BIM implementation in MDT architecture. You can find in the QR code all the information about myself, my social network, and MDT architecture. Thank you very much.